I'm sick right now. I don't know if you'll be able to understand this, my voice. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the place where I've been working. I'm not going to name the name of the place. I'm not going to name any employees that work there. But I want to tell you a little bit about what I went through and how awful it is to work in pizza. Okay, not all pizza places are like this, I'm sure. Maybe it's just the area that I work in, that where I live. I'm not really sure, but it is awful. Okay. So my last month, I've been assistant manager for a little over a month. And what I realized is that when you bump from insider or driver to manager, the job just gets more physical. When you're a driver, you're just driving. You're not doing a lot of work. You prep some food, that's about it. When you're insider, you have to start carrying dough. You do a lot of, can't see my hands, a lot of this. There's a lot of arm work in making pizza dough and stretching the dough and reaching for ingredients and putting it in the oven, taking it out of the oven. Pizzas are heavy, okay? It's heavy. And I'm pretty strong, so I could handle that as an insider. They gave me assistant manager, and I really loved it. My first week, I was like, oh, I could do this forever. It's great. But I just meant like the job itself, the job description, the things that I got to do. It was a lot of fun when you really think about it. Making pizza is fun. It's a fun job. But it's everything else that gets to you if you let it. And somehow it got to me, and I couldn't escape it. It wasn't like I was down in the dumps and I just couldn't get over something in my head or whatever. But it was like stuff was happening to me, and it wasn't just happening around me, but it was like everything was happening to me. So I got assistant manager, got a raise, but I still wasn't getting paid as much as the other managers because I didn't know as much. So my first week, let me tell you, my first week I became manager. I was sexually harassed by a driver. He was fired. Second week, I was so stressed out that I just wasn't paying attention to all the stuff that I was doing, and they said I fractured my finger. I don't have my splint on right now, but I had a splint on for like a month, and it turns out it's a bone bruise, so it's going to take another month to heal. So the week after that, I was sexually harassed by my boss, my general manager, and I had to report him. And I was so stressed out working with him that I accidentally cut off a piece of my pinky finger, and I had bandages on it for a long time. It should be bandaged now still, but I don't have one on right now. And so he transferred. I don't know if he was fired or transferred, but he's not working at the store anymore. He said some awful things to me and tried to play it off like it was a joke, and I didn't think it was funny. Anyway, my fourth week, that was my third and fourth week. Okay, I was trying to get over everything, and I hired a new manager. This guy he's a cool guy. In any other circumstances, in any other place, if we were not working together, we would be friends, I think. He's a cool guy. But at work, he started saying things I thought were a little odd, and I didn't want to go through another sexual harassment case. It wasn't like directed at me, so I let it slide. It wasn't like I just figured maybe he thought I was cute or something, and he was just whatever. So I let it slide, and I was like, oh, it's not a big deal, but I don't want it to get worse. I just don't want to do it anymore. So that's not the reason I quit. It's everything all together. I don't want to blame it on him because he's actually a nice guy and he might watch this. But yeah, I was starting having trouble in managing some of the girls in the store. We were having issues with jealousy over schedules and different things, and I just had enough. So I quit, and everybody wanted me to stay. Everybody there is really sweet to me. Really, most of them are so nice, and I get along with most of the people there. But it's the place that we work at. I mean, since I've been there, I've only been there about 6 months, and since I've been there, we've been held up at night, forced to stop delivering to a specific street. There was a fight between a manager and a customer. We had to call 911. There was so much drama at night. I was glad to start working mornings, because when you're at the cash register, you are the first person that deals with the bad customers, and it gets really stressful. So yeah, it was just, I mean, if I'm painting a bad picture of this place, number one, it's not even close to how it really is, and number two, it is just like that. When I talk to my manager, he goes, that's the way it is, you know, what are you going to tell you? So like, no, but you don't understand. Every week, it's something else. We don't get a break. It's not like we're just dealing with customer complaints. They're serious issues. In my 3rd week after being sexually harassed by my manager, somebody else was sexually harassed by someone else in the store. And I said, this is ridiculous, it's happening too often. And I blamed it on my supervisor for hiring these people. He's a nice guy too, but that's all I can think about is that, you know, they're hiring these people and they're putting them with these girls that are very vulnerable because there's not very many of us. And I don't think that they think about that when they hire the men that come to work in this store. And I felt bad leaving, being the only 3 girls that work in that environment, and leaving only 2, but I can't do it anymore. It's awful. I felt like there was some voodoo on the store directed at me, and I had to get out of there. I was just about to get a raise, and I didn't care. Now that I quit, as soon as I quit, everybody wanted me to stay. I got sick. I've been sick for 3 days. I went to work anyways on my last day, and I was sneezing all over everything. So, I mean, it's so bad that you might have somebody working there, sneezing on your food, sneezing on the phone, coughing all over everything, because they can't afford to leave their job for that one day. That's, I mean, the place you're ordering from. I realized that, and I was like, you know, they can't give me a day off when I'm this bad with 2 bandaged fingers and, you know, really, really sick, and I can't get a day off. I'm not appreciated here. I could take my skills somewhere else. And so that's what just happened to me in the last 6 months. There's been so much drama, and I left home to get a job. I don't actually need to work, and I hate saying that to people who do, but it's true. I don't actually need to work. I can just stay home. But I work because I want to get away from the drama at home, to get away from all kinds of things that happen at home. And And it just was like it was worse when I went to work. It was so much worse. And maybe it's just the place that I chose to work in. I don't know, but I've had the worst and the best times I've ever had in the past 6 months. The people there were awesome to be around, but the work environment was so retardedly awful. And I told him I was quitting. Some guy says, just give me something else somewhere else. Says, yeah, but hopefully they'll pay more for it. So I'm looking for new jobs that pay just as much or more, with a less hostile environment. And yeah, I'm sick. Next week is my period. I did not want to go back. I was like, oh, screw that. I'm out of here. Oh my God, I hope I feel better by July. This is ridiculous.